Welcome back to another Tera Plays Tera video. Today's video, we are going to go over the in-game changes to the Tera console's 109.01 build update. Now, quite a few of these things are going to go over stuff that was mentioned in the actual patch notes, things that I didn't have exact ideas of what they were changing, along with things that I mentioned in my previous video with just the idea of what was it, the state of Tera console 2. I apologize, I'm a bit sleepy, but some things I mentioned in that video that get answered as well in this video. So to start off with, the biggest thing that Tera console recently got is a small dungeon change. That being that Cursed AA is back out, and its drops are the same as before, but there is a new red fragment added to the game. We will cover this item in detail in a bit, as well as Catalepticon normal mode is also been brought out. No dungeons besides Bahar have been removed, and these are the two dungeons out. Now, red fragment, I'll go into more detail in a bit, but do understand you can acquire these through any 460 and above dungeon. So that's just the dungeon rotation and dungeon changes. I can say Cursed AA, I actually did attempt both of these, and the group I ran, we did clear CAA. It feels like his endurance and HP has been buffed. His attacks feel a bit stronger, which is good. So hopefully we'll see, hopefully this progression keeps going this way. Again, I wasn't in a crazy speedrun group, so I can't say if his HP really has been buffed, but from what it looks like, they did actually increase it. The crit resist I gotta play around with. They did tell me they were gonna reduce it to match Bahar, but I'm starting to wonder if that change didn't happen. And as far as Catalepticon goes, this dungeon is pretty hard, and I like it that way. I think it's really cool that it is a challenge. I'll be curious to see if I can actually record some videos in the future showing off this dungeon. There is some guides already. There's also a Discord that has the guides, so if anyone in the comment section, if you guys want other source stuff for that, let me know and I'll do my best to send you to what I think is the best progress made on these guides from PC. And it feels like most of it is the same, but I could be wrong. I haven't watched anyone run PC to know how much they nerfed her for console. But fair warning, this dungeon is much harder than RMHM. It is quite a challenge, and I'm happy for that. It'll be really cool. Hopefully it doesn't get nerfed too bad in the future. That is the rest of all of this. Nothing else really has been changed as far as dungeons. Some fixes that people might have, maybe you're curious to know. Abyss Raider is back, so anyone who had this locked in, couldn't change, or maybe you didn't have it but noticed it was gone, they had fixed that issue. Also, they fixed an issue with costumes glitching in the trade broker when you go through, and all of that has been resolved as well. So I'm very happy to see that the devs actually did fix this. So that is that stuff. There is some new mounts I want to go over because I personally don't want to farm them. If anyone in the community gets these mounts, it would be greatly appreciated if you can link them. Again, I don't know who is going to go for them. Personally, I want to stay away from spending money currently over things like this. And the first one is Brawl Lord Super Gacha. No clue what this actually gives us, and I'm not even 100% positive this is a mount or if this is a pet. There's been some speculation that it could be a pet, but I don't know. Its drop rate's pretty trash. It's got a special skill book So not too sure what this does. If anyone gets it, let me know. The other, I guess we'll scroll through loot box. The other mounts that were added is the, I want to say it's the Mighty Emperor Griffin gachas and the Ancient Mighty Emperor Griffins. So again, it says Hellfire skill. Both of them have, the Hellfire skill, Mighty versus the Ancient. I'm hoping these are the same as the War Griffins and they're just, slightly textured different. Again, anyone who gets them, or if you have a friend that gets one and you want to share the info, any info would be nice until, Bluehole decides to release what they do. Again, I personally don't really want to farm these because I'm just tired of farming gachas personally. And I think most of the community is, but so that's the new mounts that I've seen and possibly new pet. Again, not the hugest fan of that. We have new stuff that might be better and give more crack stats, but play it in time. I'm hoping it's just all recolor, reskin, fun stuff at this point, but we'll see. The next thing that we're going to go over is equipment changes. This is something that I mentioned in the patch note. I wasn't sure how it was going to work. So the Kaia's chest piece, instead of the damage reduction rolls, it is back to increased damage. So if you want to do more damage, you will want to get this up to +9, as well as the defense modifier is actually what has been increased. Now it's really hard to compare it because I didn't capture it before, but I mean the devs are pretty on point. I take their word for it that this is correct, that they did increase it by the 0.3 for each, or 1.3, whatever the increase was. So that's that. The next thing is stigmas. So I was confused what it meant by the detect weakness change. Believe it or not, what it is it's just adding additional strength defense when you get an enchant on your stigmas. Normal stigmas are less, so a +5 gives you 3%, where a +5 on superior gives you 5% extra strength defense. And this is attached to detect weakness, and the fact that if you're fighting a boss with Opus, you will only get the 5% defense from Opus. Whereas if you are fighting a boss with Soma and you don't have it, then you'll get no detect weakness, or defense weakness. So that's the changes of that I was kind of confused about. I didn't know if the detect weakness was getting replaced. I didn't know if it was an add-on like it is. I was kind of confused about that, but here we can clearly see you get both. It only activates when you're up against a boss with that stigma, and yada yada so forth. So that is a bit more clear. The last thing is with stigmas that you can see they did upgrade. If you come up to someone and inspect them, you can see their gear and you can press your right trigger in, and that will let you see what stigmas they have and what rolls. So that was also implemented. So that's how all that works. The next thing I want to go over is shops. So shops have been changed around a bit. For anyone who's curious, the premium store has been reset. So if you want to acquire more quest lines for gold, now's the time to do so. It seems like anytime we get a decent maintenance with a patch, that gets reset. So definitely buy those tokens and anything else you may want. Lucky, the dungeon essence has also been reset. So if you want anything specific from him, now's the time to do it. As well as they added some, fun little stuff to his inventory. I'm pretty sure this is new this season. And then the, King Bling backpack along with the Bling footsteps and the Overlord footsteps are all, inside Lucky now for people to farm. So that is majority of the shop changes. The last shop I do want to go over, which is the current event, is the fishing event. You can get diamonds at a lucky spawn with enough of resources. You can get a diamond bundle pouch. Earlier I logged on, this was not available for me to buy, so I don't know if this rotates in and out every hour. Maybe it changes and refreshes. I'm not 100% sure on that. It just said this may or may not appear. So if it is there all the time, you can only buy it once per account, and you need 500 of those resources, and you can go through and buy anything else you need for doing this event. But I did want to really show off at least this shop event, and I know Tera Solo Gamer will probably cover this event more in detail, so a huge shout out to him. Go check him out for that. He might honestly have a video up before this one goes up. If he doesn't, I'm sure he'll get it up. If not, then maybe I'll do an event video for once. We'll see. But basically, you grind out these things from cleaning the fishing areas of Arborea, and you can get, some goodies. I'd say the diamonds and diamond bundle pouch are probably worth it. Everything else, if you really need it and you got everything else bought, I'd say go for it. But that is the majority of the shop changes. Within that, the shop changes does lead me into crafting changes, as that is a shop too. If you watched my State in Terra console video, you'll understand I talked about crafting Kaia's materials and kind of confused on what was going on with that. Well, the devs decided to change their mind on how it works. And if you bought a design, you will have to come buy a new one. It's kind of annoying. Did I even go to the right person? Are you smelting?
Have I got a story for you?
Oh, yeah, it's right there. I passed it. It was originally, I think, like 100k gold. It is now 10 gold. But notice, as you can see right there, we'll look into it a bit more. That has changed. The recipe for it has completely changed. And if you go inside the smelting, there is no more Kaia's protection and essence like there used to be. Those recipes are gone. I was kind of confused what was happening with those, and it seemed like they were kind of funky. Well, those are gone, and now we have this that seems like it's meant to be an event. I don't know if it's going to stay for good. It's kind of confused on how they want to do it, but for right now, if you want to craft energy, you can. You just need 250 essence, 250 protection, and those red fragments that we were talking about earlier before that drops from those high level dungeons. And then you'll need 100 crafting kits, and you can craft, 125 of these. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I hope the system changes a bit. I'm not too pleased with this. I like this concept. I just hope they develop it a bit more, because personally, I want to say about 6 cursed AAs and a few other dungeons, and I only got 5 red fragments. Now, it's not a big deal. I personally don't want them, and due to that, because they're not a sure drop. And my main's done. I don't like the idea that I can get them. I can't give them away unless we change loot. And here's the shitty thing. I think my group, after running 6 CAAs, after maintenance was up, we put a group together and we ran pretty early. We didn't even get 40 after 6, between all of us, mind you. Now, maybe these dungeons will increase, maybe they'll make it a share drop, but you can kind of do the math, at least on CAA alone, that if you run 6. And after one set, you get 120 of these anyway. It just doesn't balance to me. Like, I think the essence and protection is kind of balanced. I think 2 for 1 isn't too bad. I just don't like that this isn't shared. I also don't like that it drops so little. Because personally, by the time you get 45 to craft 125, you probably already have like 500, 600 enhancement energy. And you need Kaia's essence and protection for all your other gear anyway. Again, this concept's really cool. I like that they're trying to do something new. I just think the devs need to really retweak this and kind of reconsider maybe the numbers and how it goes. Because realistically, like, I don't know, being able to craft Kaia's essence and protection with this same system, it would maybe entice people if they were higher up on one than another that they would do a conversion. But again, it's kind of at a weird state. I like that they're trying to do more at crafting. I think this is a great bulk craft. I'd like to see this change for other stuff, and who knows, maybe these red fragments will have another use in the future. But right now, they're only utilized for this, and personally, I think it needs some more balancing. But overall, that's, you know, just my opinions on that. The last 2 things... Oh, no, there's one more thing with crafting that I need to mention. Sorry, I almost passed this. You used to only be able to buy 10,000 craft kits. Well, now you can buy up to 99,999, almost a total 100,000. So that's a really good quality of life change. I'm really happy that they did that. I didn't see that anywhere in the patch notes, but that's something that a friend of mine noticed, and quite a few people actually noticed pretty quickly, and they told me. So huge shout out to that whole group. You all know who you are, and yeah, really happy that they did that change, because that was always annoying, buying increments of 10,000. Now you can buy a huger stack. So that is all the crafting and shop changes officially now. The last 2 things to go over is anyone who has boxes, and a good explanation is like the Stigma boxes, or any second wheel boxes. Let's see if I have any. Might not. It's a big row. Oh, I have some of these. I can show off with these real quick. So boxes like this that open up a secondary window, these used to be really slow. They increased the speed tremendously, and that's just to show an example. That's how fast these do open now. So I'm really happy they did that. It was really annoying waiting so long to open up a lot of boxes at once, especially if you saved up like 50 to 100 Stigma boxes. Now you can see it's done within a few minutes, if that, at that rate. So really happy that they did that change as well. And I'll fix the inventory later. Alright, the last thing I want to go over is something the last thing on the patch note list that, you know, you might be like, hey, why haven't you shown this yet? It's a shop item. And that is the good old uncommon accessory morphers. Alright, so the way these are meant to work, for those that are wondering, is you're meant to go over to any of your Kaia's jewelry, and let's say I don't want a crit necklace anymore. I should be able to change, equipment conversion it, and morph it into a power necklace, or vice versa for a Kaia's necklace. Yeah, it's not in the game. Now, I don't know, let me know in the comment section if you find it. I have checked everywhere. Hank and a few others helped me check quite a few places, and none of us have found it. I've checked the store. I think the problem is is that when it was released on PC has a merchant, a specialty store, and then a magical merchant that's somewhere around here that sells all sorts of different items, and the accessory morphers used to be in that store. So my only thought process is they just completely goofed and forgot to add it to a merchant or a specialty store. Again, I've checked all the Vanguards. RMHM doesn't have it. It does have that design for the enhancement energy, by the way, if you don't want to pay 10 gold, but I mean, 10 gold's not that bad. I've checked so many of these dungeons, and it might be a secret drop in Curse AA. No, I haven't seen it yet. It might be a secret drop in Catalepticon. It might be something with the new material, because the new material is here and it does say you can use it. The item will be destroyed. I hit A and it doesn't do anything. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. I will try to message the devs later on and see if they have an idea of what that issue is. But I think it is, if they meant to be nice and put in a merchant, well, there's meant to be a magical merchant from PC that has them, and we just don't have it. So GG's. Again, maybe it's a secret item drop. I don't know. If anyone finds it, please let me know in the comments section, and I will, of course, give you a shout out and, you know, put in the video where it's at. But as of right now, it's just not here. So that is about everything. That is all the changes, at least a lot of the majority changes that I was confused about where stuff was going to be, how stuff was going to work. And honestly, I think this patch is pretty nice. I think overall this is a good quality of life patch. I think this is a great patch for players to come back and start grinding altar mains back up and getting ready for the future. As far as actual content, I like that CAA is back. I like Catalepticon being really challenging at the moment. I hope the developers keep up with this progress, but I also hope we start seeing more content. And by more content, I don't mean just more dungeons converted from PC. I mean actual in-game content. Stuff to do around the world. Just stuff. You know? Logging on to run a set of dungeons and calling it a day needs to end. And hopefully developers push that. As well as I hope they keep rotating dungeons every 3 months, because if we go through another time where these dungeons are still in this game after 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, that's a yikes. So hopefully. But I'm glad to see things are fixed. I'm glad to see, you know, quite a few changes and some really cool stuff being added. That's about it. If you got any questions or comments, or maybe you found stuff that you want to share, please go ahead and do that in the comment section down below. As always, I will do my best to answer back as soon as I can. If you like this video and you're happy with, you know, the information that I've delivered you, go ahead and hit that like button. And as always, if you're new to the channel and you like this content and you want to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with notifications. And if you're not subscribed, but you keep coming back, well, please consider subscribing, as I'd greatly appreciate that and helping me reach my goal of 500. For console, if we do hit 500, I will do a war tank guide, and it will be fully up to date with as much information that I can provide. That's about it. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in Aboria Gamers.